All right, the purpose of this video is to sort of emphasize the difference between what happens to money, whether it's money owed or money earned. What happens to money when it's being affected by simple interest versus compound interest. So I have down here at the bottom a problem that we could use just as a way to explore this topic. Suppose you take out a loan for $1,000 that's charged 7% interest rate for 5 years. So what happens year by year to that $1,000 according to the 7% interest rate? First in the context of simple interest and then in the context of compound interest. So what I have here, this is the simple interest side. So let's fill this out first. Let me just, okay. So let's fill this out first. 7% interest, so we need to know what is 7% of $1,000. Maybe we could do this in our heads, but I'll just pull out the calculator. 7% of 1,000, so 7% is 0.07 of, so that's multiplication, 1,000. And we get $70. Okay, so our interest for year one, remember, interest is a fee that's charged for owing money for a certain period of time. The interest in dollars for year number one is $70. Okay, so the amount owed at the end of the year, you started off owing $1,000, you owe 70 more, so now you owe 1,000. Oops, that's way too much, 1,070. Now, with simple interest, by definition, simple interest means the interest fee is charged only on the original principal amount. So you're only ever charged interest on this number right here, the initial $1,000. And so our amount owed at the beginning of year two, well, that should be equal to the amount at the end of year one. End of year one, beginning of year two is actually the same point in time. So, and we know the interest charge each year is the same, 7% of the starting amount. So another $70. And at the end of the year, we started off owing 1,070. We owe another 70, so that should equal 1,140. And I'll let Excel complete the calculations for me. Okay, so at the end of year five, that's 5 times you were charged the same $70. $70 for year one, $70 for year two, year three, so on and so forth. On the compound interest side, let me see if I can, yep, okay, get rid of this. On the compound interest side, let's say the interest is compounded only once per year. So the word compounding means the principal is recalculated. So you're starting off, the current principal is $1,000. The interest is 7% of what you owe. Again, so I'll say, oops, that's in the wrong spot. So the interest charged is 7%, so 0. I'm going to use Excel for the calculations here. You can use a calculator if you like. 7% of the amount you owe. And we get the $70 that we're supposed to get. And at the end of the year, we owe the $1,000 we started with, plus the fee for owing that money for 1 year. So after 1 year, simple interest, compound interest, if it's compounded annually, give you the same result. Now the difference is, on the simple interest side, in year two, you were still charged 7% of the starting amount. In year three, 7% of the starting amount. Year four, year five, 7% of the starting amount. On In the context of compound interest, you are charged 7% of what you currently owe. So at the beginning of year 2, we owe 1070, just like we did over here on this on the simple interest side, but we're not charged in year 2. Our fee, our interest fee, is not 7% of the initial 1,000. It's 70% of the current balance. So again, I will, if I just drag this down, Excel will do the calculations and we can just talk about where these numbers come from. Okay, so in this column here, these numbers that I have highlighted, this is the interest fee in dollars. Now, where this is coming from is this is 7% of something. With simple interest, 7% of the initial amount, and that stays constant. Here, 7% of, so let's say this number comes from this balance of 1,000. The 7490 is 7% of 1070. Do I have more colors? Yeah, green. This $80.14, that's 7% of $1,144.90. So you see the interest fee is increasing month by month because the amount you owe is increasing month by month. So let me switch back to the pen. After 5 years with simple interest, your balance is up to $1,350, and with compound interest, it's up to $1,402.55. And the reason behind this, with simple interest, you're charged interest only on the initial amount. Compound interest, in year 2, you're charged interest on the interest from year 1. In year 3, you're charged interest on the interest from year 2 and year 1. So it's compounding. Every year, more interest is accrued. Your current principal value is going up. Therefore, the percentage of that larger number becomes a larger, the 7% of that larger number becomes a larger number. Every month, as you can see, this is the interest charge is increasing. Okay, hope this has cleared up the difference between simple and compound interest.